heaven, here we go again.
We're going to have fun tonight, and we can deliver this message of laughter.
I just want to say something that my mom always stressed to me, that laughter is the best medicine. Whenever she would whoop me, and I was crying, she'd laugh it off.
I just pray that we would be the best we could be.
Being from the South, your favorite phrase is? Y'all, right. Y'all means everyone. But she has another phrase, which is all y'all, which apparently is everyone plus everyone else.
Just bring the hearts of the audience here to have a blast. Let them know this is just to have a fun night tonight.
They tell men to find their feminine side. Hey, I found my feminine side. You know what I did? I married her. I'm good. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Lord, open our hearts and our minds. Let this light of grace emit from each and every one of us, that they may see something different in us.
And I've been a Christian for 11 years, and I have figured out there are two places that I have amnesia when it comes to being a Christian, and that's the golf course and the airport. I got to think if Mother Teresa played golf, she'd be cussing like a sailor. That's all I know.
We like the detail in it because it'll show up. Now it's ready to do a new time.
We're gonna rise up. The time is now at hand. We're gonna rise up. Together we will stand. We're gonna rise up at the Lord's command. We're gonna rise up. Rise up.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Allen!
Right. This is cool. I got to tell you, my wife and I are a praying couple. We believe in prayer. We believe in a creator. We believe in a creator that answers prayer. So when we had children, we prayed for patience, tolerance, love, and understanding. God answered those prayers with not one but two ADHD children. So watch what you pray for. The big guy's got a sense of humor. The kindergarten actually called to tell us our oldest boy was hyperactive. Like we didn't know. Is any parent shocked when that phone call rolls in? Your boy's hyper? No. He's so calm at home. First day we dropped him off at kindergarten, it was all we could do to keep from laughing. Some perky woman came over. We'll have so much fun. And we're sure you will. Principal calls me at home one day. He says, your boy won't sit in a chair. He's disrupting the class. We don't know what to do. I said, oh, open the back door and let him loose. That's what we do at home. Yeah, he'll come back when he's tired. He always does. Check his little head for ticks. He crawls through the shrubbery quite a bit. Kindergarten, what's he gonna miss? Coloring? He'll catch up. I like the name, attention deficit hyperactive disorder. It's polite, it's medical. Let's face it, 40 years ago when I was bouncing off the grade school walls, they weren't quite as kind, were they? I was OLP, obnoxious little punk, that's what I was. I didn't have Ritalin, man. Mr. Gerganis, I'll never forget, this guy comes to me, I'm like 9 years old. He comes to me, he goes, you know what your problem is? You know what your problem? I love it when a full-grown adult asks a 9-year-old boy. You know what your problem is? Just once I want to hear the 9-year-old go, enlighten me. I lie awake pondering those deeper questions. I'm 9, I don't care what my problem is. Right now you are, you're in my way. He says, you don't know how to focus. He gets down in my face, he goes, you gotta focus, man, focus. And I'm 9 going like that. He goes, that's all you gotta do, man. Straighten you right up. That was our salute for an entire school year. I'd act up in class, he'd go, Jeff, I'd go. And he'd go very smugly, that's right. Some of you laugh, but I'll tell you, I had 12 years of public school. Couldn't tell you when this country was founded. I need to make a 3-foot putt on the golf course.
Folks, please welcome a good friend of mine, Anthony Griffith.
Thank you very much. I'm so glad to be here in Nashville. Actually, I'm glad to be back in the country. I just finished performing in Africa, which was fun. East Africa, to be exact, a little small town called Detroit. So, I love Detroit. I got hit by a car there, so I was able to make a little extra money on the side. Because as soon as I got hit, I started rolling on the ground, holding my neck, screaming like my mama told me. I can't see. Is my Lexus okay? The guy that hit me looked down. You don't have a Lexus. I looked up. I do now. Because I need money. I have bill collectors after me as I speak. I got so many bill collectors after me, when they come to my house, they carpool. I hate bill collectors always calling me up trying to get their money back. I'm like, hey man, let's remember you pre-approved me. I knew I didn't have any money. They're always calling my house. May I speak to Anthony Griffith? He's not in. When you expect him back? As soon as you hang up? And their latest technique, they like to leave messages on your answering machine like they're your friend. I check my machine, I hear, Griff, what's up? Give a brother a call, man. I'm trying to hook up with you. I'm at 1-800. And I'm born and raised from Chicago. I love Chicago, except New Year's Eve, because Chicagoans like to bring in the new year by shooting their guns off in each other's houses. I was on my grandmother's house one year for New Year's Eve. I counted 20 bullet holes in her window. 10 from my grandmother shooting back. I see you behind that station wagon. Come on down to celebrate. Come on. My grandmother would cap you in a minute. And she's retired now, so that's all she lives for. And our eyesight has gotten bad over the years, so she always thinks someone's trying to break in the house. Every 5 minutes, I see a shadow, put the gun down. But I see a shadow, baby. I know you do, you got cataracts. Oh yeah, I forgot. Well, cataracts or no cataracts, you still gotta protect yourself. Like my late husband always said. What did he always say? Well, whatever it was, he always said it. I miss him. We did everything together. We was married for, let's see, Lincoln freed the slaves in 1864. Uncle Cephas married his second cousin in 1912. Chubby Checker came out with a twist and said, we was married for 2 years. That's the only way my grandmother can remember anything. She always has to start with the emancipation of the slaves. It could be simple things like going to the grocery store. Grandma, you need anything at the grocery store? Do I need anything? Let me see. Lincoln freed the slaves, 1864. Chubby Checker came out with a twist. I went to the grocery store on Wednesday. No, I'm good.
So please help me welcome to the stage a good friend, Mr. Ron Pearson.
You guys are awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. How nice is it? I was just thinking, how nice is it that we can come here tonight and see a live show instead of sitting at home and watching reality TV? Isn't that nice? I can't take it anymore. There's no reality in reality TV. Actually, I watch Extreme Home Makeover. You ever see that one? I actually like that one because they do good things for people. And I thought, man, if you're going to do a TV show, you might as well do something good for people. But I can't take that show either because by the end of every episode, I'm just like, not because of the family story. It's more like, why can't I have that house? Could somebody in my family get lupus? I want a house. You laughed at lupus, and that is wrong.
This guy's one of my favorites, folks. Please help me welcome to the stage, Brad Stine.
I don't hear nobody. Yes. Oh, man, I'm feeling good. Look at you. I smell my people tonight. I smell my people tonight. I know where I am, smack dab in middle America. I am proud to be here. I'll tell you why. You are the last vestige of America's that remembers the traditions that made us great. Let me tell you why I love you all. You love your church, you love your country, and you hunt, you fish, and you don't apologize for it. And that's why I love coming down here. I love you all. I am so tired of this political correct. Don't shoot the animals, they might get their feelings hurt. You don't even pretend to be animal rights activists around here. You people are like, see the bunny, shoot it, eat it, make a hat. Out of the rest of the hair, it's a cute bunny. Yeah, that sure was it. Is that a snake? No, it's a boot right there. Put that bad boy on. That's America. Shoot it, eat it, and if you got a head left over, don't hide it somewhere surreptitiously. Hang it on your wall. That's what made us great. Men could sit there and say, look at my heads. That's what made us great. That's what I'm so proud to be part of you people. But I got to tell you something. I lived in California most of my life. I moved down the south because I wanted to remember what made our country great. See the people that learned about personal responsibility and pulling yourself up by your own bootstraps. And it's hard. It's hard for me to make this transition. I can't drive here. I'm telling you why. You guys changed my life. I'm serious. I learned to drive in Los Angeles, California. People think LA's hard, LA's easy. 8 billion miles of freeways, one sign, maximum speed, 65, good luck, go! Not here. No. You guys have things happen on your freeways every day that used to only happen to pioneers. Strange phenomenon I'm not used to. For the first 6 months, I was freaked out trying to drive her. Why? Because I'm not used to a sign warning me about an animal that might leap out. Get a zoo, for crying out loud. First time I saw deer crossing, I'm like, why do you let them on? If you got deer jumping out on the road, that's not put up a sign problem. That's put up a fence problem. You know what I'm talking about? Put up a wall, dig a moat, get a stun gun, put them on a leash. You know what? They invented barbed wire. Use it, for crying out loud. You got deer jumping out on the road and you act like that's normal. Yeah, it's normal if you live in a cartoon. What do they do? Jump out in top hats? Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Ah! Suddenly I'm in a place where deer just might shoot out on the road. Then you got your cold weather signs, written in some cryptic shorthand apparently only you people can decipher. Bridge, ice is before road. I'm like, okay. What do I do? Where's the rest of the information? You're all past me. I got heat on snowshoes, a walrus. Help me! The bridge is gonna do something! Look out for deer! My favorite one was watch out for tractors. I'm no farmer, mind you, but don't they have like a designated, I don't know, field they're supposed to be in? Southern farmers just run wild, periodically party! Hey, Clem, grab a combine, let's go on the freeway. Woo, slow down, got this baby up to 3. Let's go race the Amish, come on. That's right, when all else fails, make fun of the Amish. Why? Because they have no electronic recording equipment to prove I said anything. If they did, they couldn't plug it in anyway.
Who is this guy?
We met in like 16 years ago, 15?
Yeah, about 16.
16 years ago on a cruise ship. Really started working out and hanging out more after that. And then really started hanging out really when Tanya and I started dating.
Yeah, because I was dating Tanya first, and it just wasn't working out.
Yeah.
And I said, maybe you need to be with Ron. Maybe that's what the Spirit's telling me.
Yeah. Mostly because he was married at the time.
So the Spirit and my wife.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Are you my girl? Are you my pink pancake? Okay.
Tell me what you like most about your daddy.
That he's a comedian.
That's what you like most about me is I'm a comedian? What about
And that you're my father.
What about I'm handsome? I'm a genius. I'm maybe the best father that's ever existed on earth, period.
Actually, God is.
Yes, I know that. I know that's the answer we have to give. Part of comedy is creating reality based on instances in your life that you either observed and found funny, and so you created a framework around it, or something that did happen that you just sort of broadened and took some creative license with to make it a larger, maybe over-the-top element. Because my whole show is over the top.
The comedy that I laugh at always had truth to it, you know? So I never liked contrived type humor. I've always liked stories based on life because I relate to life and angst and things like that.
This city is great. I love this city. I love this city. I live in Los Angeles, and I go to church there, and I came out here and went to church here, and man, your worship is good. Everyone here plays an instrument or does something, and like, what? Is there anybody in the congregation? Everybody's on stage. But I mean, they all know what they're doing. It rocks, you know, because I grew up in so to see some rock and stuff is cool, you know? But modern worship is weird, though, because it's kind of lost the depth. I like the old hymns. The old hymns have the depth. The modern worship is just, you know, they've somehow lost it, you know? One of the biggest hits in modern worship several years ago was, Our God reigns, our God reigns, our God reigns, our God reigns, our God reigns. Second verse, our God reigns. What? Sounds like a bunch of 8th grade cheerleaders wrote that song, doesn't it? Our God reigns, our God's cool, your God's not. Our God's big, your God's small. Our God is an awesome God. Our God reigns. You know, we missed the hymns. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found, was blind, but now I see. That's the depth I like. Now, our God reigns. And I go to, how come every time you go to a church and there's a choir singing, how come there's always one guy just trying to rock out? Just... Is that the dumbest dance we have ever had? The Cabbage Patch. That's the entire dance. I'm done. Let's do it again. Bang. Woo! Wow, 3 times. People used to try and jazz it up. Double reverse was very popular. Baby circle. Ooh, ooh. Anybody could do this dance. I saw a one-armed man out in the middle of the dance floor.
He's always had an interesting wisdom with his faith that, you know, he'll never give you, like, if you have a question, he'll never give you a pat Christian answer. It's always thought out from a different point of view and a different angle that just kind of makes you think a little deeper.
And I grew up in the inner city, so I grew up on 2 things, church and Pepto-Bismol. My mother gave me Pepto-Bismol for everything. No matter what ailed me, Pepto-Bismol. Do you know how much Pepto-Bismol you have to take to recover from a gunshot? Anybody? 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 And I was raised Baptist, so I was in church all day on Sunday. I wanted to be a Catholic so bad when I was growing up. I used to envy Catholics, because Catholics, they got in and out. 1 hour means 1 hour to a Catholic. I've seen Catholics riot after 1 hour. Hey, hey! We gonna be late for bingo. I would have Catholic friends come over, hey man, play some football. I gotta go to church. We play, we get out. I'm Baptist, you won't see me until Monday. Because we would stay in church, sunrise service, Sunday school, regular service. Then we'd go visit the sister church, come back for evening service, and people wonder why we see visions. We hungry. That's true. After the third service, I'm walking around, I see a chicken sandwich. And I have a love-hate relationship with church, because church is where I got some of my worst whoopings. Which I thought was a total contradiction, because my mom would be praising God for life with one hand and trying to take my life with the other. Right. Because Baptists, we don't believe in time out. We believe in knockout. Time out is when your parents get tired of hitting you. When I tell you to do something, I don't want to hit no back. Time out, time out. Baby, give me some Pepto-Bismol, because my son... Yeah. Stay there, boy. And my mom, she would multitask in church. She could whoop me and sing a praise song at the same time. She'd be in the pew going, anointing, fall on me. Anointing, fall on me. Let the power of the Holy Ghost fall on me. Anointing. Fall on me.
Yeah, I love this. I travel all over the world doing comedy, and I love visiting other churches, and it's just awesome when you visit another church because you see new cool stuff, you know. But you ever visit a church and everything's fine until that one little thing happens, and you're like, I'm in the wrong church. I was here in the Midwest, and I was at a church, and it was great. We're going along, and then the pastor goes, grab the bucket and pull out a serpent. It's time for a little snake handling. No wonder the congregation's small. They're all dying. I used to go to a church in Los Angeles. 20 people was the size of the congregation. 20 people. An average Sunday would be like 8 of us showing up, and one Sunday I was the only person that showed up. And my pastor did a normal service. He's like, could you stand up and greet the person next to you? Are there any first-time visitors? Come on! And then he did like a 15-minute altar call, you know? And I'm like, do you really think I'm not saved? And he goes, with every head bowed and every eye closed. I said, that's one head, 2 eyes. Do the math. You want to freak out your pastor? You want to freak out your pastor? Next time he says, with every head bowed and every eye closed, just pop up in the middle of the congregation.
I got a son right now serving with the 101st Airborne at Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Thank you. Thank you for applauding that. Not every audience applauds that. I've had people come to me after shows and say, how did that happen? It started when he was 16. My wife goes, I've had it. Had it. Those are her 2 words. Kids would call me up when I was on the road. Mom said she's had it. What does that mean? Run, that's what that means. She's a lunatic, run! Had it. Called her, had it. I said, about what? She goes, that boy. I went, because it wasn't me. I said, what about him? She says, I'm tired of trying to shove an education down that boy's throat. Sick and tired of it. He won't get study, he won't do grades in school, he has to take summer school classes. I'm fed up, I don't know what he's gonna do when he graduates. He's not gonna live here the rest of his life. And I said to my wife, what kind of student were you? She goes, I was awful. I said, well, Lord knows I was awful. What makes you think you and I together would breed a good student, baby? If there's anything to DNA, this boy's right on track. Have you heard him tell a joke? His timing's impeccable. I says, what do you want me to do? She says, find out what he's gonna do when he gets out of high school. I'm fed up, I can't even look at him, I'm so angry. I said, all right, I'll talk to the lad. Call him upstairs, I sit him down at the kitchen table, I said, I'm gonna tell you up front, son, tell you right up front, this is a father-son discussion. Father-son discussion. Your mother wants to know what you're gonna do when you get out of high school. He says, I don't know. I go, well, that's a problem. We gotta come up with something. I got golf balls to hit, man. And this ain't going away soon, so. And he says, yeah, tell her I'm gonna join the Army. I said, great. So I go in and I tell his mother, he's gonna join the Army. Now my wife looks at me and goes, what's he gonna do when he gets in the Army? When does it end? I had a wedge in my hand, man. Walk back out, I go, Mom wants to know, what are you gonna do when you get in the Army? I'm gonna drive a tank. I said, cool. Go back and tell his mother, I'm gonna drive a tank. She doesn't say nothing. Walks by both of us into the basement. Comes up 5 minutes later, 40 pounds of newspapers. So what is that? She goes, I want you and that tank driving boy of yours to go through those classified ads and show me one job for a tank driver. Go to the Army to learn a skill so when you get out, you can feed a family. Don't go in there to drive a tank. I said, he's 16, he wants to blow things up. I'm 50, I want to blow things up. I said, he'll find his way. Sure enough, he graduates. Now, 8 months later, he not only didn't join the Army, he's not doing nothing. His favorite hobby's fighting with my wife. They're fighting every day. I'm getting 5, 6 messages on my cell phone. You know, 3 from her, 2 from him, you know, and it's just driving me insane. I come home one day, stood in my living room, and said, I've had it! Get up here. Sit down. This is not a father-son discussion. This is a man-to-man discussion. He says, what's the difference? You'll know in 5 seconds, boy. You can't live here anymore. What? You can come for breakfast, lunch, and dinner because I dig your company, but you can't live here. Why not? Because you can't get along with my wife. I love the look. That would be your mother. What am I gonna do? I go, I don't know. I said, what are you working, Flying J? What are you pulling down, 65 bucks a week? Get your own place. Hard to say that one with a straight face. Or you can join the military like you said a year and a half ago. That was what the plan was. I don't care what you do, but you can't live here because I can't take it anymore. I'm gonna let some strange man move in my house and disrupt it. I'm not gonna let you, just because your DNA is mine, don't mean nothing to me. Comes up about a week later, he goes, I'm gonna join the Army. I said, that's a wise decision, young man. Told you that to tell you this. He went into basic training. No idea what goes on in basic training. I never was in the military because I'm a wimp. I'm not kidding you. If I was in the Army, I'd tell every general, do not tell me anything you don't want the other side to know. Because I'll tell, I will, man. They just threatened me. We're going to rip out your fingernails. I believe you. What do you need to know? You got golf courses in this country? I have no idea what goes on in basic training. All I know is we got a letter from him. Started out, Mom, Dad, I am so sorry. Please, Mom, forgive me for all the trouble I caused you. Dad, send me a Bible. I can't do this without God. They're killing me in here, Dad. I can't take it anymore. My wife started crying. And I'm sitting there going, well, maybe we can call the Army, tell him he's learned his lesson. He can come home now. 3 pages of the most repentant letter I've ever read in my life. He was fessing up the things that he did when he lived with us I didn't even want to know about. Dad, I started smoking when I was 1 year old. You know, shut up, you got away with it. Last paragraph, 3rd page, starts out, well, Dad, I finished my first day. 1 day. My wife said it started when he got off the bus and some guy went, there'll be no TV or video games for 8 weeks. Ah! This is inhumane. Mom, Dad, I'm so sorry, please. Send me a Bible. We picked him up at Fort Knox 8 weeks later after basic training. I couldn't tell you how proud I was of that boy. I'm not kidding. I was amazed at the transformation. And then we take him back home. We live here in Nashville. We took him back home, and I said, give us one night. Give us one night. That's all. Well, let us take you out. We'll show you off in your uniform. We're so proud of you. And let us treat you like royalty. Let us treat you to a feast. You tell us where you want to eat, and we'll take you. My boy looked at me and said, I'd like to eat it Outback, sir. All right. I already got him to do in 8 weeks what I couldn't get him to do in 19 years. Look me in the eye and speak an entire sentence without an and a and a.
After September 11th, he was 16. 17. He came home that next day and said, if you let me, I'm going tomorrow, if you let me.
I said to him it was a wise decision. I felt it was a wise decision, and it has been. He's a different man than he was when he went in.
The fact that he's up there still saying that, you know, we need to, you know, support our soldiers, we need to respect our soldiers and just, you know, give them everything we can for support. It means a lot that he's doing that. Not only that I'm his son, but to all my friends who are in the Army, all my platoon mates, all my squad mates, it means a lot to me.
What most interests me is people making choices as to who we are as humans. So you decide, what do I believe internally? What makes me who I am? And so have a place to go to let that part of my personality, which is real, come out.
I want to watch political correctness die in my lifetime. But first, I want to watch it suffer. Because it has taken our children and turned them from people of character who stood up for what they believed, irrespective of what somebody thought, and took away their spine and their courage and made them wussies. That's what's killing us. It's the wussification of America that's killing us. No more wussies. We have to teach the kids who we are and how we got here, because it was rough, man. People came over here hundreds of years ago in boats, man, and it was hard. Hundreds of years ago, it was hard on boats, and they came here to get away from religious persecution. And some people came here, and they were slaves, and it was a horrible stay in our culture. And we've tried to change that. But the point is, we got here, and now we created this amazing country. And what was so fascinating is that people were willing to die. They were willing to die to get here. And if you think that wasn't rugged enough, as they're coming here, they brought their kids. Months and months and months on the stinking ocean trying to get over there. And the kids didn't complain. They threw up a lot, but they didn't complain. And they all arrived here, and we got the entire eastern seaboard created, but that wasn't enough. We were gonna go west because we were gonna create a free democracy that no world had ever seen before. No land had ever seen. And so we got into covered wagons, and we went for months and months, and these people, they brought their kids again. And the kids didn't have DVDs, and they didn't have radios, and they didn't have CDs, and the kids weren't going, are we there yet? You know why? Because there was no there yet. We're gonna make it there. And we did. We made it there. And we created a country unlike any other, because when something is hard to achieve, when you get it, you appreciate it.
I always consider myself more about traditional values. That's just kind of what it is, because the Judeo-Christian values, it essentially was the through line of America hundreds of years ago. The standard that people sort of looked at as the ultimate truths as we assessed what we wanted our country to be. That's what I believe in. Some of the humor, though, I think came from my family background. That's the kind of people that we were. But it was more sarcastic, I think, in a lot of ways, too, you know, more messing with you and so forth. So, but if you look at my comedy, a lot of it's that way. It's more aggressive. It's more sort of taking shots at people and this and that.
I definitely can see talking to Ron or telling him about the day with the kids when he's gone. I can see when a light goes on, and I'm thinking that's going to get on stage. I think our life writes his material.
I'm wanting to work on a piece about my son going to his grandmother's funeral last year. You know, you can't control a 3-year-old at a funeral. They open the casket, and he goes, "Oh, is she gonna get up now?" And you know, how can you? And then a few minutes later, "Mommy, are you crying? Are you crying? Why are you crying, Mommy?" "Well, I'm sad she's gone." "Well, are you gonna say goodbye?" And Tandy goes, "Yeah, I'm gonna say goodbye." He goes, "Let's do it on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Say goodbye. Say it. Say goodbye." And of course, they're gonna talk louder than anyone else in the room. What are you?
Tex.
Tex. I forgot.
I'm your baby boy.
You are my baby boy.
Yeah.
Are you gonna eat it? Will you give it to me?
Put in your mouth.
You're
like a baby.
I am?
Yeah.
Why am I like a baby?
Because I gave a PT.
Oh, really?
I toured with Bernie Mac for a year as his opening act, and he said that the reason I like you, because, you know, we grew up in Chicago together, he said, "You're not dirty. If you were dirty, I would have to come out and have to be dirty." So it's like the angel and the right, exactly. Because as soon as I finish, he goes, "Hey, church is over," and then people go, "Yeah!" And I'm going, "But didn't you like me for the first 30 minutes?"
Well, I appreciate the laughter, because I was booed off stage last week, you know, at a benefit. So I was booed off stage for free. That's what upset me. And I knew I was gonna get booed because I was the opening act for Snoop Dogg, where no one knew he had a clean Christian comic. So when they lowered the lights, people were going, "We want Snoop. We want Snoop. We want Snoop." MC came out, "Are you ready for Snoop Dogg? Yeah! Are you ready for Snoop Dogg? Yeah! Okay, but first..." Didn't even get my name right. "Here's Andy Griffith." Your brother's going, "Boo!" From Mayberry? Boo! He looked different on TV.
Do we have any teachers in the audience? Any teacher? What do you teach, sir? Retired. You're retired. Good. Any other what do you teach, darling? In-school suspension? Do you remember me? Can we have a round of applause for all of our teachers? They have the hardest job in the world. God bless you. It's such an important job, what you do. It's so important. It's so important. However, I have a bone to pick with my teachers, and my bone would be this. We all spend a third of our lives in school. 20 years of our life we spend in school to maybe get by, right? There's no guarantee you're going to make it when you get out. I've been out over 15 years, and I realize you teachers taught me the wrong stuff. You did. Not once have I used a quadratic equation. I've never climbed a rope outside of gym class. The last thing I want to do when I hear a fire alarm is get in a single file line and not talk. They taught us the 3 R's, right? What were those? Everyone. Reading, writing, and arithmetic. Writing starts with a W, arithmetic with an A. How can we trust these people? And why should we trust the teachers? For years they were telling us metric is coming in. The whole world's turning metric. You have to learn metric. Where is it? The only people using metric now are the drug dealers. These people were F students, now they're wealthy. That's not fair. Dude, they deal in grams and kilos. And if you don't pay them, they'll come after you with a 9mm.
A kid comes to me about a year ago. This is what he says to me about a year ago. He goes, "Listen, I'm not making this up." He goes, "I need some space." The place is cramped. I need some space. So I remember what my father did when I told him I needed some space. He walked me to the front door, opened it up, and said, "A lot of space out there, boy." And if I remember right, he had one foot on my backside, ready to launch me into the world. So my son had it figured out in the basement. He had a room all planned out. We didn't have a room down there, and he said, if you build a room here, you can put a bathroom off of here, and this is great. And I'm thinking, that's enterprising, and I agreed with him. But I said, as long as you understand, if I build this room, this is still my house. It's my house. He goes, oh, yeah. Building the room, it's beautiful down there, man. He's gonna, and I'm walking by 6 weeks after the room, and I hear him on the phone with one of his buddies. Finally got my own place. Call my wife. I tell my wife, I said, he has no intention of ever leaving our home. He thinks he's got a condo down there. She says, what are you gonna do? I said, I'm gonna freeze him out, that's what I'm gonna do. I figured come winter, I'll just close the vents. He'll never figure it out. Sure enough, one day he comes upstairs, got an electric blanket wrapped around him with an orange extension cord, 100 feet of it. Hey, what's with the heat? I don't know, talk to your homeowners association, condo boy.
But then we got cars, and cars are great technology, but one thing it took away from us was the ability to remember how hard it was to get here, because when something is hard to get to, when you get there, you appreciate it. Cars are too fast. I know. I'm not anti-technology, but cars are too fast, too safe. You can go hundreds of miles in a couple hours. You don't appreciate the journey. That's what I'm saying to you, my brothers and sisters. That's how we got to train the kids. We got to make it dangerous to drive again. First thing we got to do, we got to get these airbags out of the cars. Kids don't know what I'm talking about. Let me tell you something, buddy. When I was growing up, they used to have dashboards made out of metal. You got in a wreck, you paid for it. You were weeded out so the good drivers had more room. That was America, but you don't know because you're just a kid, man. How old are you? 11 years old. He's looking at me like I'm a nut. You know why? He's 11. He's never been in a bagless car. You didn't know cars didn't have bags. You probably thought the cars have always had bags. You probably thought the Model T had bags. Wasn't sophisticated, just a midget with a paper sack. No, you don't know, son, because you're 11 years old. You've been wussified. It's not your fault. We got to change you up and man you up. But you don't know because all you've had is a bag and a bag and a bag and a bag. It's like a fun house to get in a wreck in this country. Got in a wreck. The 11-year-old loved it. That's all he knew was a bag and a bag and a bag and a bag and a bag. And then we sat you in the front seat with a mandatory seatbelt. In the first 5 years of your life, you sat in the back seat right in the middle with a 5-point harness car seat so you couldn't get hurt. And you probably learned how to ride your bike wearing a helmet, you big baby. If I'd learned to ride my bike wearing a helmet, my friends would have beaten me up. And they should have. Because the helmet tells me that we gotta fix the outside. That's what you do. That's what the new relativism teaches us. The secular humanism teaches us. Always protect the outside. Always fix the outside because they can't change the inside, which is the only thing that matters in a human being. No, we're gonna give you a fake world that says pain isn't supposed to happen. And if it happens to you, it's not your fault. It's never your fault. It's always somebody else's fault. Preferably somebody with assets. Son, I'm not putting you down. I'm trying to grow you up. You don't understand that you are the lineage of people that came here long time ago with this one idea. If you're willing to work hard enough and not expect anything from anybody else, you can become anything you want to be to a group of people that now need signs warning them that coffee is hot. Born in the U.S., didn't know coffee was hot? Put a helmet on! Slam it down tight.
The people that come see my show know exactly what they're getting. They're getting the guy that believes like them, and he's delivering it in a comedic way. But I also believe this is an act.
I really, really like what I do, you know? So I don't get that at home. My wife doesn't walk around and applaud when I walk into a room, and my children don't, you know, pat me on the back and say, Hey, it's Jeff Allen.
Ron started a little late in life, so he's gonna have a little bit more trouble than my young dancers here, but we're hoping that he can catch up.
Zip it, girls.
Reagan, what do you think of your godfather's comedy? Do you think he's funny?
Yes.
Is he funnier than your dad? You're on the spot.
Just
now.
that hesitation said a lot of stuff. I became an uncle again, which is cool. Kids are so big nowadays. Biggest baby at birth on record is a 22-pound baby boy. Yes, that's what she said. Ladies, you ever have a boy that comes into this world at 22 pounds, don't buy him any toys, buy him a work permit. I'm serious. I have a nephew that came in at 16 pounds, has never touched baby food in his life. Went from his mother's breast to a porterhouse steak. He's 2 years old, his voice is lower than mine. He walks around the house, Uncle Tony. Your Uncle Tony. Why don't you drive me to nursing school, man? He wears his diapers down here. Now, by applause, anybody got teenagers at home? Yeah. All right, I'll pray for you. Teenagers are not human. I'm trying to raise my 17-year-old cousin. He's 6'7", and he swears he's God's gift to mankind. He's always lifting weights at night like he's in lockdown. Always trying to gauge how strong I am. Hey, man, how much can you bench press? I don't know. Well, how many push-ups can you do? I don't know. You want to wrestle? No. Why, you scared? You scared of these guns? If I was scared of you, I'd choke you in your sleep. That's what my stepfather told me. I was naive at 17. I was so naive, I picked a fight with my stepfather. And my stepfather's a Vietnam vet. I didn't find that out till after the fight. He did 2 tours of Nam. You do 1 tour is because you serving your country. You do a 2nd tour is because you got issues. And I'm coming home 2 in the morning, my stepfather's right at the door. Hey, man, what time did I tell you to be in tonight? Man, get off my back. You ain't my real daddy. I ain't got to listen to you. He said, what'd you say? It was really a rhetorical question. He was just using it to get closer to his victim. I said, you ain't my real daddy. I ain't got to listen to you. Next thing I know, my stepfather was back in Nam. You want some of me, Charlie? You think you can take me, Charlie? And he started doing all these martial art combat moves that you see in movies, and you say to yourself, man, that'll never work in real life. It works. He headbutted me, jabbed me in my throat, popped my ears, put dirt all in my mouth. To this day, I don't know where the dirt came from. We was in the kitchen. Where did the dirt come from? And the only thing I got to say before I passed out was, who's Charlie?
You know that every lie you learned in school started in your math class? Math. Math made sense the first year and the first year alone. Remember the first year math? 2 + 2. 4. Cool, right? Second year math got a little creepy, didn't it? 2 × 2. Still 4. Same symbol on its side. Something's up. You guys remember doing sine, cosine, and tangent? Sine, cosine, and tangent. I did hundreds of those in school. I have yet to use one outside of school, yet not one math teacher ever bothered to say, hey, Ron, if someone asks you to cosine, don't sign, then get them off on a tangent. That would have saved me 40 grand. You all remember the number pi? What is it? Who cares? You're never going to use it. And how about story problems? Weren't those the worst? Train A leaves Chicago at 60 miles an hour. Train B leaves New York at 40 miles an hour. What time will they meet? You know what? No one travels by train anymore. Even if we do, we still don't actually want the trains to meet. Why couldn't just one safe give me an equation that would pertain to my life? Like, Ron, your wife's leaving you on United Flight 567. First class meets your best friend in Tucson. How many months will it take to pay off the visa bill at 18.5%? My math teacher was not my favorite person in the world. Y'all had one mean teacher, right? One teacher just, didn't that teacher bug you? Just, didn't that bug you? Didn't you just once want to answer that teacher back and go, why, yes, I would like to share my thoughts with the rest of the class. Yes, I did bring enough gum for everyone else. Yes, I do kiss my mother with this mouth. Hey, maybe I would like to come to the front of the class and explain my behavior. You know what? Maybe I would like to go down to the principal's office. Yes, I do think this will get me somewhere in life, and yes, I am some kind of comedian.
I have ADD. I'm also a hypochondriac. You laugh, but I'll tell you, the ADD keeps the hypochondria in check. Those days when I'm convinced I'm dying, by the time I get the phone to call an ambulance, I've been distracted 4 or 5 times. Usually wind up in the kitchen not even knowing why I got a phone in my hand. That's when I order a pizza. Oh, the kids love me. Hey, Dad's dying. Give me pepperoni.
So I live in LA now. LA is real expensive. I didn't realize that till I went shopping with my niece all day long. Uncle Tony, could you buy me some Guess jeans? How much they cost? $80. Guess again. Because kids don't understand the value of money. Do their parents? No. I always beg you for those gym shoes that cost over $100. Every mall I go to, I see at least one child begging their parents for gym shoes. Come on, mama! I don't want them. I want to be like Shaq. Well, until you bring home $100 million like that, I'm taking you to pay less. That's what my father was. My father was cheap and poor. That's a bad combination. My father was so cheap, one year for my birthday, he only gave me one walkie-talkie. One. And I had to share that with my brother. Can you hear me? Yeah, I can hear you. Where you at? And I felt sorry for my brother because he always had to wear my hand-me-downs. He never had anything he called his own. Even his childhood pictures were old pictures of me. My father would say things like, Danny, this is your 8th grade. I'm not in 8th grade yet. Well, this is what you're gonna look like. And take a good look, because these are the clothes you'll be wearing.
I have a feeling what I'm learning is what I felt was passion came out as anger, and I think I was probably wrong.
Did you start it? It started working, and like every comedian, you just played it harder and harder?
Probably. I mean, you know, pandering sounds false. I mean, the truth is, we're selling comedy. We're selling laughs to people. They're paying to come have us give them something that they laugh at, and they like that laughter. I'm given to people that are like-minded. Again, I'm not a hypocrite, because hypocrisy is not failing to do what you believe. Hypocrisy is not believing what you say. I believe what I say.
Well, you're a Christian man. You're not supposed to offend people. Let me tell you and rephrase that just a bit, my brothers and sisters. I am not allowed to maliciously offend people. I'm not allowed to think of myself better or superior or be a racist or be a bigot. That's absolutely true, and it's a beautiful part of my religious belief. But if you are offended by the truth, that's your problem. I'm under no obligation not to speak the truth because it might hurt your feelings, for crying out loud. The truth is supposed to hurt. That's how it lets you know you don't got it. I always speak the truth. That's all I got, for crying out loud. But this whole idea of oppressing enough and people hurting our feelings is arbitrary. People just don't even have to have an argument anymore. They just say, you've hurt my feelings. You know how you stop political correctness? You stop doing it. Somebody says you hurt my feelings, and you say, I don't care. Okay. Game over. I I win. Because if they're offended by truth, that's not your obligation. Let me tell you something, how arbitrary it was. There was a school in Washington that wanted to celebrate Halloween for all their children. And so they said, come home, come back to elementary school, and wear all of your costumes. But girls, you can't wear a costume dressed like a witch. Do you know why they didn't let them do that? Because there's a woman from the local Wicca chapter that was offended by the stereotype. Excuse me, but if you're getting offended because you're a witch, who cares? You should be. I read about you people. You go around poisoning apples. You try to throw Hansel and Gretel in an oven. You got warts all over yourself. You cast spells on people. You ride around on broomsticks. If anybody should be offended in this country, it's a witch. And by the way, if I offend you and you're a witch, I don't know. Isn't there a potion for that? Maybe some rutabaga, some eye of newt, put it in a cauldron, drink it all up, because I'm thinking if you can sink and control nature with incantations, you'd have bigger fish to fry than being offended by a 6-year-old in striped socks and a pointed hat trying to score a Kit Kat bar at Halloween, you dork. Put a helmet on! Oh, for crying out loud, count your blessings. At least we stopped burning you at the stake, you big babies. Of course, in this day and age, there's probably some witch in the back going, that's not funny, I'm gone.
How is it having a comedian as a husband?
Help me.
Is your dad away from home a lot on trips?
Yeah.
Does it make you sad when he goes away?
No, because my mom stays with me when my dad is going.
And I love him, and it's great when he is home, because when he's home, and he's all mine.
And so we learned to sort of try to have coffee in the morning together and just be together.
It's fun, just him and I in the morning with our coffee and talking about whatever unimportant thing there is, just to unwind. You know, I travel a lot too. We both, land at home, and we sit at the kitchen table and we'll talk for half an hour, 45 minutes. Not really about anything, but every time we walk away, I go, I really enjoyed that.
This is my pride and joy. Tell them how proud you are of me, baby.
I'm extremely proud.
Yeah, because when
a lot of hard work.
When I was building it, I had 8 times as many bricks and mortar than you probably need, and people were laughing at me. But the last tornado we had, me and the boys hid inside the mailbox.
Now the Lord said, my burden is easy and my yoke is light. Unless you're single. Christian single is the hardest thing in the world, isn't it? Have you ever been to the singles group? Because there's always that one guy that's been there 15 years, never getting married because he's too busy looking for Bible Barbie. Hey, yuck it up, ladies. You're too busy looking for missionary Ken. And I got news for you. If he's really a missionary, he doesn't drive a Corvette and a sports camper. If he's really a missionary, he drives a 1963 Dodge Dart with 287,000 miles on it. He's got to pull over every 6 blocks to add water to the radiator, but at least it has a fish on the back and a bumper sticker that reads, God provides.
And once a man gets married, the biggest responsibility he'll ever face is that he must protect his spouse no matter what the cost. Someone tries to attack your lady, fellas, you must shield her with your body. And women understand, we men have no problems with that. The problem arises with the fact that you women, knowing this, you have the tendency to instigate the holdup. So while your man is trying to shield you, you're behind him yelling, that's right! If you want my purse, you have to blow his head off. And I don't think you can do it. In fact, I dare you. Whatever. Anyway, whatever. Talk to the hand, because you ain't a real man.
She's a tough woman. I married a tough woman. First thing she did when we got married, took my spine away from me. Keeps it in her purse. She'll give it back if I have to do something manly. 3 o'clock in the morning, I heard a noise. Here's your spine. Go down and see what it was. I hate that wake-up call. I heard it. Well, if you were sleeping, you wouldn't have heard it. Why don't you go back to sleep? You won't hear the next one. And then it starts. Get down there. I don't want to go down there. Get down there. For what? What if there's a burglar? That's my point. Stand in my underwear and tell him a couple jokes? Come on. It's a VCR. What are they, $9? We'll buy another one. You go down there, don't you, husbands? You know why? I've learned one thing in 23 years of marriage, and this is it. Happy wife, happy life. I gotta share this with you. My father, when we first got married, this was his wedding gift to me. My dad gave me a 12-gauge shotgun. He was a hunter, I wasn't, you know. And he tells me, he goes, I've had this gun for years, and he said every man needs some kind of a thing to protect their home, and all you gotta do is, you gotta get the firing pin replaced. It's kind of wore out, and he said, once you do that, this thing will last you forever, and you'll have something to protect your home. And I said, great, and stuck it in our closet, and then every now and then my wife would clean out the closet, and she'd pull the gun out and go, why don't you just sell this thing? And I go, it's my dad gave that to me. I'm not selling it. Well, get it fixed. And I don't, you know, all right, yeah. Well, anyway, I tell you that because I heard a noise one night. Big noise, big crash in the basement. Woke me up. And any man that's ever felt there's an intruder in their home knows what I'm telling you. The hair on your neck stands up, your stomach gets a little shrinked, and you think someone's in your house. So now I got to go down there and confront this thing, and whatever it may be. But I got to take something. I'm not taking a broom. Then I remember the 12-gauge. Even though it's broken, I'm thinking that's a pretty good bluff. And you point a 12-gauge at some guy, what pinhead is gonna go, I'm only guessing, but go ahead, pull the trigger. And then I'm thinking if he wrestled it away from me and pointed it at me, I can go, it doesn't work. And then I can bunny hop to my freedom. I figure win-win for me. So I tell my wife, I go, don't call 911 unless you hear me scream like a schoolgirl. So now I'm sneaking down the stairs, and we all sneak the same way in the house at night, with our shoulders up. Because this deadens all the creaky noises on the stairs. And this is how my brain operates. I'm halfway down the stairs. I'm sweating. I'm telling you, I'm thinking there's someone in my house. I'm thinking, I gotta look like Elmer Fudd coming down these stairs. Makes me laugh. And then I remember, I gotta focus. So I get down into the living room. Now I gotta go down 5 or 6 more stairs to the basement, and then I'm ready to confront the evil that exists in my basement. And I'm coming down, and I'm starting to get a little, my heart's really beating, and I'm ready to flip the light switch. This is when my wife yells from upstairs all the way downstairs, Jeffrey, that gun is broken. I'm only guessing, but I think the bluff went right out the window. I don't even mess with guns anymore. I just put on the noise uniform. That's her bathrobe, big fuzzy slippers. My theory is a guy will look at me and go, wow, I don't even want to meet the man that married you.
But our country was great for a reason, son, because we thought we were. Are we perfect? No. Have we made mistakes? Of course. We're filled with humans. Humans are sinners. But we made a country so amazing everybody wants in. That's how you know if you got a good country, people want in or out. And they went in here, man. Everything we used to come up with, we didn't apologize for, and everybody wanted it because it was from America. Even our sports. We invented baseball. The world plays baseball now. We invented basketball. The world plays basketball now. We invented football. The world plays football now. They invented soccer. We're like, no. Now that's stupid. That's what I'm talking about. We believed in what we were. We are not a perfect country. We make mistakes and we'll make more. But we've given more goodwill to more nations on the earth than any other stinking nation combined has ever even thought about doing. That's what makes America great. And no matter what happens, and no matter whatever happens to us, and no matter how long we're allowed to exist as a nation, no matter how long, we will have the satisfaction at knowing at least we're not France. Is there a poster child for a wussified nation? Used to lead in chemistry, used to lead in literature, used to lead in all of these sciences, but they gave away their soul because trying to accommodate all cultures that moved into their country, they lost their own. When you come to somebody's country, you adapt. Bring the best of what you got, but adapt. They lost it all. So what did they come up with? Wussification. What did they come up with? What was the sport they invented? Bicycle racing. Ooh, let's learn to ride bikes super fast so we can practice running away. Tour de France, that's what they came up with. They got the Tour de France and they're excited about it. Oh, we're crying out loud, they can't find one French guy to win their own dang race. Lance Armstrong goes down there. He's thinking win 7 years in a row. And they're like freaking out. This is impossible. This is impossible. He must be on drugs. He must be on drugs. They tested him, found nothing, but they continued to slander him. He finally quit. We sent an Amish guy down there and he blew him away. Then they freaked again. This is impossible. He must be on drugs. He must be on drugs. And they tested him. And then they thought they hit Peter. Oh, we knew he was in trouble. We knew something was wrong. He is filled with testosterone. This man is loaded with testosterone. He is filled with testosterone. We knew something was missing. We knew something was askew. But we have been testing Frenchmen for years, and we've never found any testosterone.
And I laugh because my mom, she just loved to laugh, and I got that from her. Older people in my church, they just like to laugh, you know, because they've been through depressions, they've lost people, they've been through wars, and they say, don't preach to me, don't pop, I just want to laugh.
Anybody who works their job just to get a paycheck will wind up cynical. I believe that. If you do your job for a higher call, then it becomes something that has purpose, and then your life has meaning.
I believe I can touch people through hardships that I've had. I'm just, as a comic, I'm just here to make you laugh.
I feel good this month. This month, I celebrate 21 years of marriage. Yes. And after 21 years and 5 stitches, 1 restraining order, I've learned to say I'm sorry. I wake up saying I'm sorry, people. As soon as I get up, good morning, honey, I'm sorry. What are you sorry for? I don't know yet. I'm just trying to earn some extra credit. Because I'm always in trouble, you know. And I almost didn't marry my wife because she had the habit of walking into things where we were dating because she's far side. Which I didn't know at the time because she never wore her glasses around me, and I saw my wife walk into a brick wall once. Hard. I thought a car had backfired. That's how hard she walked into her. And she still refused to tell me she had an eye problem, even when she regained consciousness. I was like, baby, you okay? Yeah, why you say that? Because you just walked into that building. Well, I didn't see it. You didn't see the building? Exactly what part of the building did you see? I didn't see the building. Are you calling me a liar? No, I'm not calling you a liar. If you didn't see the building, you didn't see the building. In fact, now that I take a good look at the building, I can see how you missed it. Because it is a foggy day. In fact, when I woke up this morning and saw just how foggy it was, the first thing I said to myself was, man, I hope I don't walk into a building that... I'm sorry.
We'll be coming up on our 23rd wedding anniversary, my wife and I, 23 years. And thank you. People ask us all the time, they go, you know, well, how do you keep the romance going in your marriage? You know, my wife and I, we try to be intimate. We just remember how much time and energy it takes and rather watch Law and Order. My wife falls asleep at 9:15 every night. It's like clockwork. At 9:10, I'll look at her on the couch. It's like a gas leak going off in our living room. So I'll suggest maybe she go to bed. Oh, no, I'm fine. I'm watching this. I'm watching it. She's seen the beginning of every Law and Order for the last 5 years. So they come on in rerun now. She goes, I've seen this one. Hey, you might want to give it 20 minutes, sweetheart. I remember my wife got diagnosed with cancer 2 years into this, and my career was really starting to move. And I remember I was working a theater in Pigeon Forge, and I was on a driving range, and I was getting angry that this cancer would come in. And this is how I believe God works in my life. This is how it works with me. There's a revelation at some point of your heart. And I remember hitting these balls and getting angry and realizing that I was angry because the cancer interfered with my career. It was an inopportune time for my wife to have cancer. And there was a conviction to that, to what kind of man thinks this way. I didn't want to think that way. You know what I mean? I wanted to be a male and a husband, and I wanted to be a man, and I wanted to be concerned about that because she was suffering. But in essence, and I remember the verse that came in to my head was out of Job that said, who are you, little man, to question my ways? When Job was railing his fist at the heavens, who are you to question my ways? And knowing this and then acknowledging it with my pastor, there was some sense of, you're not an evil, disgusting, vile person. I just revealed to you your heart. And there's a way around this, and that's just get involved in another part of the recovery, her recovery. And there's this thing that you think you're done. I've always felt this, like, okay, when am I done being changed? When am I done being who I am? We were eating breakfast one morning, just her and I, sitting at the breakfast table. My mistake that morning was thinking that everything was fine. I was whistling, man. Could explain why I didn't hear her ticking. I just wanted to butter my waffle, man. Just butter a waffle. No family business, no talk, no nothing. Just butter a waffle. So I said, sweetheart, can you pass me the butter knife? Of course, now I'm thinking, something must be bothering Buttercup. So I asked, something on your mind? She says, I'm fat. There isn't a man in this building that knows you can't respond to that. At this point, a twitch of the eye is gonna get you killed. You ever hear your wife say she's fat, you better become mannequin man. Oh, yeah, you don't move a muscle. And the worst thing you could say to her is, well, maybe if you laid off the brownies for breakfast. And never mention that ice cream's not supposed to go in Slim Fast. Who knew that would cause such a tizzy? Yeah, gotta keep your yap shut. Just let her finish her thought, dig the knife out of the wall, butter the waffle. Then she says, we're joining a health club. Did you hear what I said? I think I heard you say, you're fat and we're joining a health club. Believe it or not, that was a wrong answer. Spoon. Of course we joined a health club. You know why? Happy wife, happy life.
Every day with Ron is like an adventure. Every day. And it's exciting. I wouldn't trade it for the world. And the great thing about Ron that stands out, I think, above other comedians is that his humor and stuff really comes from his love for life and his joy every day.
Well, actually, tonight is my 1-year anniversary. I've been married 1 year now. How cool is that? Do not applaud, do not applaud, do not applaud. I have not met her yet. She ought to be up from the Philippines any day now. What a little letter writer that girl is. Actually, I've been married for 10 years this coming January to a Texan. Do we have any Texans in the house? Awesome. I love Texans. And guys, if you're single and meet a Texas lady, marry them. They are awesome. My wife is wonderful. Her name is Tanya Turner, and she's from Tyler, Texas. My wife, I call my wife 180 because she'll make a decision, and it's a woman's prerogative to change her mind. But I call her 180 because she does it so fast. She'll walk in a room and go, honey, I'm going on a diet. Let's get ice cream. Like, pick a team and stick with it. And my wife, why is it when my wife goes on a diet, the whole house has to go on a diet? No one else in my family can eat because she is not buying food and she is not cooking food. 2 weeks into my wife's diet, I'm so weak and emaciated, I can't even speak. I just blink to the children, save yourselves. 3 weeks into my wife's diet, kids in Africa start sponsoring me. 4 weeks into my wife's diet, my wife goes, honey, I lost 50 pounds. I'm like, yeah, 25 are mine, can I have it back? My wife went on a tofu diet. You know what tofu is? You know what tofu is? Tofu is straight from the pit of hell. That's what tofu is. Tofu is a white jello that has no flavor or taste or smell that you cook in a pan next to another food and it sucks the life out of that other food. That is demonic. Tofu is one of China's biggest exports. You know why? They don't want that stuff either. Tofu is a Chinese word. It means spam. Where does this tofu come from? Where does the tofu, this white jello tofu, come from, this white jello? I figured it out. It's the inside of a futon. Tofu futon. You Chinese can't fool me. There's only one country in the world that doesn't like tofu, and that's England. Too much flavor. You know when my wife really changed and became 180 and started switching around all the time was the moment she got pregnant, man. The moment she gets pregnant, you girls just, whack, you change. Her sense of smell went berserk. She could smell everything, and it all made her sick. My wife was 3 months pregnant, sitting on the couch. She goes, I smell dirt. Get it out, I'm getting sick. I'm like, I don't know where it is. All y'all get the dirt devil. She's gonna blow chunks. That's a true story. The very next day, she goes, honey, I feel nauseous. I go, what's wrong? She goes, I feel sick. 2 syllables, sick. I go, what's wrong? She goes, I smell the inside of my head. There's no air freshener for this. What am I supposed to do? Chew on a Tic Tac and blow in her ear? What do you do?
Oh, you can't say something that might offend another nation. Hey, you can't say something that might offend a witch. You can't offend animals. Can't offend animals. Animal rights activist. I'm not. I think it's great that we take care of animals. I think it's wonderful that we don't abuse them and torture them. That's the way it's supposed to be. I have a problem with people that will actually argue with you that animals and people are equal. Equal. I'm not anti-animal. I'm pro-human. That's the freak that I turned out to be. I'm sorry, but obviously we're superior to an animal. I don't think you can give a right to an animal. Why? Because a right is a philosophical concept based on the fact that you know you're alive and know you can cease to exist. Self-awareness. Animals aren't aware. They don't know they can die. They're not afraid to die. They're afraid of getting chased. So they know it's instinct. Chase them from the watering hole. They go back time after time after time. They don't know it's an ambush. The bones aren't a giveaway. Ridiculous. Let me tell you something. You care about animals so much, you know what the most abusive a creature is to an animal? Other animals! Go into the animal kingdom and teach them to be nice to each other first. For crying out loud, will somebody please help these wildebeest? Every Discovery Channel, 500 wildebeest all scattered from one cheetah. Teach them to organize. Hey, there's 500 of you, one cheetah. Stop. Circle the cheetah. Dog pile on the cheetah. So what do they do? Oh, look, the cheetah's got old triple Elmer. Should we help him? Whatever. Just makes more room at the safe watering hole for me. They don't know. I don't believe that they actually care about animals. I think what they care about are cute animals. Because that's the only ones they ever protect. Ooh, spotted owl's getting harmed. We gotta see it stop the logging. Oh my God, this thing harp seal's getting beat up. We gotta stop all the fur. Ooh, dolphins are getting caught in the tuna net, my favorite. Dolphins are getting caught in the tuna net. Dolphins are getting caught in the tuna net, yeah? What about the tuna getting caught in the tuna net? They're not crazy about it. But tuna are fish, and fish are ugly. These people never chain themselves to a dock. Be kind to carp. It never happens. Oh, yes, but dolphins are second to humans in intelligence. Really? Then tell the dolphins to go around. Who came up with this thinking dolphins are so smart anyways? I've seen them at SeaWorld. They dance on their tail, bounce a ball on their nose, and go through flaming hoops of fire 5 shows a day, 7 days a week for a sardine. Hey, Brainiac, get a union. And then they protest hunters, but not all the hunters, only those with guns. That's our First Amendment right. That's our ability as humans to take and subjugate the animals so we can eat and have fur. That's what they're for. We are not allowed to do that, but they don't go after the fishermen. If you really care about animals, go after the fishermen. They're the most ruthless hunters I've ever seen. You shoot it, it's dead. These guys will seek and catch a fish, battle it for 20 minutes, pull it out of its environment. It's suffocating. Meanwhile, I'm taking pictures. Look what I did. Look what I did. Take pliers, rip the hook out of his face, and then throw him back. If I'm a fish, I'm thinking, what was that all about? Eat me!
Joy is something only humans experience. It's part of proof that God's out there, that there's something bigger than us, something to shoot for. I want to leave them with that. I want to leave them with great work. I want to leave them with something that was funny and significant and made a point.
I honestly think that when my husband is dead, a long time from now, he's going to be revered in ways he can't even imagine.
Nothing matters but God. If God's not real, life is meaningless, so it doesn't matter what we do. No law matters, no morals matter. None of that's real. It's just people making it up as they go. But if God's real, then you gotta find him.
Just God uses him. He's God's tool, one of many, many, many tools. But Brad says, okay. You know, I struggle with what God wants me to do. And he just says, okay.
It's not my job to manipulate an audience into believing what I believe. I believe that God works on everybody in their own time, and in his own way, and in their own way. To some people, it was an overnight thing. Just bam, something happened and hit them, and with me, it was a more gradual process.
Got a temper, my wife, and I mean a temper. I'm not talking irritability and sarcasm, because that's what attracted me to her. And she started menopause, my wife. There are nights now that I lie in bed and dream about the good old days of PMS. I can't get our home cold enough for my wife. She's on the phone half the week with the air conditioning guy. It's broken again, it's broken. It's not broken. There's not enough freon in the world for the woman. If there is a hole in the ozone, it's over the roof of my home in Fairview, Tennessee. Walk in the bedroom at 10 o'clock and turn on that 64-bladed fan she installed. It's 48 degrees in my bedroom. We got me hanging off the curtain rods, for God's sakes. She flipped the fan on and go, it's so hot, it's so hot. I had to bolt the furniture to the floor to keep it from getting sucked through the roof, for God's sakes. And then she wakes me up to feel her night sweats. Is that necessary? I'm sound asleep, man, sound asleep. She'll zip my parka open, just zip the parka right open. Wake up, feel this, it's disgusting. Look at me, I'm laying here, there's like a furnace in me or something. Oh, Jeff, you're lucky you don't have to go through this. You know, I wouldn't if you quit waking me up. Told my boy, watch out, Mom's going through some stuff. I said, like what? Those nights you don't do your homework, she get mad, maybe yell at you? I said, yeah. I said, be a little different now. She might start crying and then stab you.
Did your daughter, anything that happened with your daughter, affect how you told jokes or what you felt your job was as a comedian? Or And how did you get out of that spiritually, that place?
Well, when my daughter died, I was not angry. I was confused. I wanted to know. I wanted to ask God, because I was the perfect father. So when she passed, and I was just confused. I wanted to know. And so like with most people, my first response was, when I get to heaven, that's going to be the first question. Why? And you go through the stages of loss. You have anger, depression, and you can work on depression. You can be depressed for, I think, a good 10 years I was, and still function, still make people laugh, still go through life. But it wasn't until maybe 10 years later that I started hearing the birds chirp again, smelling the roses. So in that process of searching, God began to reveal to me, why not your daughter? Why not your, because like a lawyer, you never ask a question if you don't know the answer. And I had to go, well, what would I say? What if he said it's because of something you did in your past? Didn't want to hear that. What if God said she was supposed to die at 3? I didn't want to tell you. I didn't want to hear that because I couldn't enjoy the 3 years of life with her. So in God's wisdom, the peace that I have is that he said that she's in a better place. She's with her. She's in a better place. She's with her her grandparents, and I will see her again. And I understood that. So I just make people laugh. That's my ministry. If the Holy Spirit tells me in conversation, or if I meet people individually, and they say that, hey, this has happened, this has happened, this has happened. I was diagnosed with MS 14 years ago. The death of my daughter, the death of my parents, equipped me for MS. I go, okay, because I look at life as if it's a great novel that you're reading. And it's so great that it's a page turner. And the star of that book is you. And you turn the next page and the main character loses his daughter. But it's so compelling. You keep going.
You ever just want to close the book for a while?
No, because it's so thrilling, because this book is making you cry, laugh, get mad, get angry, that you keep going. You keep going because I want to see what's the end. Now, the author of the book is God. And this is the thing, you already know there's a sequel. And that's the peace I have. And so every day I go, I wonder what God has in store for me.
People think I play basketball because I'm 6'4", so I was good. Hey, you're pretty tall. Play basketball? No. You're pretty tall. I don't play, though. Why? You're pretty tall. Well, you're pretty short. You ride a horse? I don't like assumptions. Like whenever I'm in a grocery store, somebody might come up to me, excuse me, sir, could you get that can off the top shelf for me? No. Why don't you eat what's on the second shelf? This is my stuff. That's your stuff.
One problem with school was I found the school told me they had all the answers to life. They said, we can tell you where life started. They even really said that in the hard sciences mostly. The hard sciences, remember those? What were those? Biology, chemistry, and physics. The 3 R's. I used to mess around with my teachers, though. I'd raise my hand and the teacher would go, yes, Ron. I go, yes. To my biology, I go, yes. If I eat pasta immediately after eating antipasta, will they cancel each other out or will I just get gas? And why do some women drive 6 blocks to the gym to walk 10 miles on a treadmill? Do fish have to wait a half hour after they eat? Then I'd say to my chemistry professor, why is the cling-free sheet the only thing that sticks to anything when you pull it out of the dryer? And why is the lint in my dryer the color of nothing I own? And then I'd say to the physics professor, you say all things are relative, but I say all relatives are things. And all my relatives took all my things. But they said they all had the answers to where life started. Each one of the hard sciences, where life started. Let's take chemistry. They said life started at where? The nucleus of an atom, right? And what went around the nucleus of an atom? Does anybody remember? Electrons, excellent. The size of the atom was 10 to the minus 10. That's very, very small. But I used to ask my teacher, you know, where does that come from? Where does that come from? And they'd say, well, and they start explaining, and I found out if you go to 10 to the minus 33, the atom becomes so small, it implodes upon itself, becomes a black hole, ceases to exist. They got something from nothing, but they couldn't answer that. So then I went out to the physicist, and the physicist says life starts at a single point. They called it singularity, and they said with a big bang, the universe exploded out. Now, we do know the universe is continuing to expand, and we do know that it is slowing down as it expands. But I've talked to some of the top physicists from Caltech in Los Angeles. They said there's one thing we don't know. We don't know what happened the first 3 minutes. No joke, 3 minutes. We know 3 minutes to now, it all makes sense. But we have no idea what happened the first 3 minutes. So then I went over to the biologist, and the biologist said life started at a single cell. Single cell. And after 2 billion years, 2 billion, it evolved into a 2-cell structure. But what the biologist couldn't answer was called the Cambrian population explosion, where in just 5 million years, we went from 2 cells to all 36 body types currently in existence. That was supposed to take another 2 billion years. It only lasted 5 million. But they couldn't answer that. And somehow, we ended up at man. What are they leaving out? I think I know what the public schools are leaving out. I think the public schools are leaving out the fact that our God reigns! Our God reigns! Our God reigns! You guys are awesome. God bless you. Thank you very much.
God bless you, Tennessee, for coming out. That's my time. I love you. Thank you, Nashville.
Good night, folks. You've been absolutely wonderful. Thank you very much. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Jeff Allen, ladies and gentlemen. You had a good time tonight? Well, we're the apostles of comedy. Let's bring them all back out. Ron Pearson. Anthony Griffith. And dare we forget Jeff Allen.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. This was nice. A couple things before we go. I can't thank you enough for coming out and supporting this. I really can't. And some things I'd like to say before we leave. One is, James.
Focus.
I got it. James, in the book of James, he compares the human tongue to a rudder on a ship. And basically says the rudder is a small part of a large vessel, but without it, you can't steer that large vessel. And he says the human tongue is the same thing. It's a small part of the human body, and then one part of we use it to praise our God, and on the other side of the mouth, we use it to tear down God's creation, the people made in the image of his likeness. So there was an attempt to do something with our tongues that would not only honor our God, but also to not belittle the people that God created. So I hope we were able to accomplish that from my end of it tonight. So thank you.
Awesome. I just wanted to say I am so thankful, one, to be on stage with 4 guys that we all think the same way. It usually doesn't happen that way for me in the nightclubs, so it feels like a place where I feel comfortable, I feel relaxed, and I thank you guys for coming because you realize how lucky we are. I mean, when you go everywhere else, we're so lucky to be able to be here tonight and just have fun. You know what a blessing that is from God? But I just thank the Lord that we have somehow been chosen by him to come out and even have a great enough life to have a good time tonight. And that's all I got to say.
I just want to say something that my mom always stressed to me, that laughter is the best medicine. Every day she would try to convey that to me, that whenever she would whoop me, and I was crying, she'd laugh it off, laugh it off.
You got whooped a lot, didn't you, back when you were... Lots of whoopings. Well, folks, all we are 4 men that love comedy and love God. And we believe that there's another way to do comedy than the way we've been seeing on cable television and in nightclubs. That can be just as innovative, just as dangerous, just as progressive, just as funny, just as interesting, and be 100% curse-free. God bless you for coming out. The Apostles of Comedy is coming to a city near you. Good night.
We're gonna rise up. The time is now at hand. We're gonna rise up. Together we will stand. We're gonna rise up. At the Lord's command, we're gonna rise up. Rise up. We're humbled in your presence, for we have been the witness to all that you've done. You have shown your greatness by raising up a people from where there was none. The challenge is before us, to turn another page, to rise up in the power of your name. We're gonna rise up. The time is now at hand. We're gonna rise up. Together we will stand, and we're gonna rise up. At the Lord's command, we're gonna rise up. Rise up. In this new beginning, we're watching for your leading and all that we do. And for this we're trusting.